Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have back with us Daryl Horton, who's the president of DL Horton Advisors. We'll be discussing life insurance versus 401k for retirement. Daryl, welcome back to the program.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike, for having me. Much appreciated.
I'm looking forward to this because I always love the this versus that, because it's like, okay, here's two things that everybody know about, and we now would need to be comparing them. So what exactly is this, and then what exactly is that, and then pros and cons. So I'm excited to jump into this. So we're going to cover for when people are typically making plans for retirement, and obviously a 401k is something that people that are self-employed. Working for a corporation have, but self-employed people can have a 401k type plan. I think it's like a 403b, something like that. But it's those two types of qualified plans, and then we're going to compare it to life insurance. So get us started with, what's the difference, between these two, and we'll get into some advantages and disadvantages of each.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Well, starting off with inflation, inflation is at an all-time high of 7% in December. And just face it, with the inflation being so high, we have to revisit our retirement planning. And so just to get started with the 401k, and some of the advantages of a 401k, most individuals have that plan provided by their employer. And some of the advantages that I talk about is, first of all, it's not necessarily about how much you make; it's about how much you keep.
Yeah.
So, you can make a bunch of money and blow a bunch of money, and it's or you can. I know people, and I have clients that's conservative with their monies, and they may not make a whole lot. However, they're more wealthier than some of the affluent clients that I have. So the advantage, I would say the first advantage of a 401k is that you put money away for yourself. You saving for you. I mean, instead of spending money on your, first of all, paying your bill collectors and whatever, your liabilities are, you paying yourself first. So you're getting started. So something, to have a 401k plan is better than not having anything.
Yeah,
and so a lot of people procrastinate about, savings. And everybody knows they need to save. You need to put away something, but, may not have a plan to do that. And with the 401k, that provides it. And the second advantage of it is that it's convenient.
Yeah.
It comes out of a payroll deduction. You don't see it, so trying to spend something that you don't have is very, very difficult to do. So that is a great advantage of a 401k. And then also some companies match, your contributions, from 2 to 4%, or so that is advantage of its own too. And then another advantage for that is you can get a loan, off your 401k plan. Although you got to be careful about that, as we discussed earlier, it can trigger a tax event.
Yes, if you don't make the payment according to plan.
Right, exactly, and you definitely don't want to do that. And then one of the so those are basically the advantages of it. And I would say another advantage that most people like about it is that since it's coming out directly from your paycheck, it lowers your income. And so your tax liability is less for that year. And so, that's great for a lot of people. And those would be some of the advantages that a 401k provides. And I definitely do suggest having a 401k if you don't have any type of plan. especially if your company is offering it. And if they're not offering it, then we have a plan that we can put together for your particular needs. But one of the concerns, Mike, I have regarding 401k is that you have a silent partner. Keep in mind that you haven't paid any taxes. This is deferred taxes. And what you do, you pay taxes once you take distribution, which is you have to take distribution by 71 and a half. And by that time, the average American may have anywhere from $200,000 to $350,000 in their 401k plan. And the concern that most of my clients have is with the deficit being what it is. It's over $2 trillion currently right now. And the forecast over the next 10 years is that the deficit is going to be more than $12 trillion a deficit. So, that's in 10 years. And so the question is that where is the government going to get these monies, these funds to pay for this deficit?
Let me take a wild guess. Raise taxes.
Raise taxes. And that's what it is. And that's what I'm talking about, a silent partner that you have when you go have a 401k plan, is that, it's estimated to be $7 trillion worth for funds in the 401k plans overall here in the U.S. market. So it's real easy to figure out, if you're the government, where do we get the funds from? Well, it's in the 401k plans, and we all know that Wall Street is not free. There's a fee, there's a cost to these 401k plans, although, we don't necessarily see it. We wait to, retirement or early withdrawal. And then we're like, oh, well, here's the fees and here's the taxes. And so with that being said, it's like, wow, you don't know how much you're going to be paying in taxes. Now, Mike, what do you think your audience would think if we asked them if they believe taxes are going to be less in the next 10 years or more in the next 10 years? What do you think they would guess?
Yeah, I'm going to just, from myself as a consumer, I'm going to just make a speculation that taxes probably will go up.
Exactly. And that's what most of my clients, that's the problem. We don't know how much. It's like having a silent partner, right? Which the government is your silent partner, and we just don't know how much.
Yeah, but we just don't know how to shut them up.
That's right. That is 100% right. It's like, wow, we could be paying 20 to 24% taxes on your 401k, or the next 5 years or the next 10 years. We don't know what that number is going to be. So, if you're in partnership with someone and you don't know what the income split is going to be, that's a pretty tough projection to have when you don't know, how much the tax is going to be.
Yeah.
So those are some of the, I would say, the concerns that most of my clients have, and that's why a lot of my clients are moving to another asset, as we talked about, which is the IUL, permanent life insurance.
Okay.
Because for that same purpose, we don't know what the tax bracket is going to be when it's time for us to retire. And so with that being said, we have like three different tax buckets. We have the paying taxes now, or tax deferred, which could be a CD or IRA, or you can also defer an annuity on a tax. And then you have tax-free, which is your Roth IRA, and but it's limited to $6,000 per year. Or you have permanent life insurance, which is tax-free. So based upon those three buckets, most of my clients prefer to pay no taxes, and I'm right there with them. Why pay taxes now or defer it when you don't have to pay it? And so those are what leads into the advantage of the of tax-free life insurance plans. So with a life insurance plan, one of the benefits, or I will go over, is that it's liquid. So unlike a 401k plan, say, in 10 years, if you want to pull out funds before you're 59 and a half, with the life insurance policy, you're not penalized as you would be, with your 401k plan. And so that's definitely a benefit that people, my clients, love to have, because, hey, you don't, you're not penalized for that, because a lot of my young professionals, they building up funds so they can be able to pull those funds from their life insurance plans to fund their businesses, homes, weddings, boats, and so forth and so on. So that's a great advantage of whole life.
So here's a quick question. You mentioned having the ability in a 401k to borrow against it, and then the caution that if you don't meet the payment, schedule, that there could be penalties and tax consequences and all that. What if you have that cash value life insurance policy that has that liquidity and you access the cash through a loan like you mentioned? What happens if the same scenario happens where you don't meet that repayment plan? What happens in that scenario?
Well, whatever that amount is deducted from your death benefit. So, for instance, if you have a death benefit of $500,000 and when you pass, you have outstanding loan of $100,000, then your beneficiary is going to receive that $400,000.
Okay.
So, which is probably good enough for your estate, but the bottom line is that, hey, you were able to use that $100,000 to finance whatever your lifestyle is.
And then as opposed to the 401k loan, if there was a default, you are hitting penalties and tax events and things like that are hitting you right this minute now, not when you pass way down the road. So that's another, in my mind, I'm hearing you describe those two as a comparison. That's another big benefit in having that cash value life insurance contract.
Right, it is. And my clients love that part of it. And in addition to that, there's zero floor, with a life insurance policy, which is they use the S&P 500 and other crediting resources from anywhere from 4% to as much as 12%. So you can't, as far as your gains, so you can't lose money off a life insurance policy as you could with your 401k plan. So, I mean, we have the market where we know that at some point in time, the market is going to correct itself. Right now, I know the market is trending down, but, the market's up and down, and we just don't know, when that's going to happen, but we know it's going to happen.
Yep.
At some point in time, it's going to correct itself, and so the advantage of that life insurance policy, even when the market corrects itself, is going to be a zero floor, the worst scenario. So you're not going to lose any money. So you only participate. Your participation is with the gains and not with the losses of the stock market. And so a lot of people just love that too. And then the other thing is, you own your policy. Unlike a 401k, which you do own. However, most people are changing jobs like 8 or 9 times minimum before their career is over with. And so instead of, moving that 401k over again and again and again, and you build your own policy, well, it's designed specifically for you with a death benefit, and it's a savings plan, and you just participate with those gains. And so wherever you move to, as far as employment, your contract moves with you. You own it, not the company. So I have a lot of people say, like, well, why should I get life insurance? I'm only paying 17 cents, a month, and this and that, and I'm only paying $5, and I have $100,000 worth of life insurance. Well, heck, if you have a outstanding mortgage of $500,000, and your life insurance policy is only $100,000, then there's your $400,000 shortage right there. Your income stops because you're no longer with us, and your family may have to, move out their home or sell their home or cause some type of deficit, in that home, a change of lifestyle. So, and then when you move, your employment, generally the insurance policy ends. And boom, you got to get you another insurance policy. Well, guess what? You're older.
Yep. And the cost might be more, and your health might be different.
Exactly. Wow. So these are policies that has to be approved. These are not policies that, okay, I can, like a 401k, anybody can get a 401k. A life insurance policies, these are, special policies that require being approved for, and there's a lot of requirements for that. But as long as you in standard health, you can do that. And even if you're not, Mike, we have annuities, that can be rolled over. And a lot of people move their 401k plans over to an annuity, a lifetime annuity, whereas they're paid a certain amount of income for the rest of their life.
Wow.
And a lot of my clients love that too. And
there's something nice about that, for the rest of your life and income stream. Those kind of phrases feel really nice.
Yes, they do. And so it's really easy to do. Like if you move from one employment to another, you can transfer your 401k over to a qualified plan, an annuity, or a qualified plan. That's an IRA that you can actually participate more in the gains of the stock market, anywhere from 7% to as much as 20%.
Wow.
So it's like so many opportunities out there, Mike, that a lot of people don't really understand or know about, because when I was working, in the workforce, my 401k I was contributing to, not one time did anybody come to me, far as the office or advisor to explain to me exactly how does the 401k plan work and what are the advantages and the disadvantages and what can you do with that. So, to me, it's all about education, and understanding, what are the opportunities, and just looking at what some of the wealthy people are doing. Like many of my wealthy clients, that's what they're doing. They're funding part of their portfolio with a life insurance policy that's having a guaranteed cash flow, a guaranteed death benefit that's transferable to their heirs or their trust or estate.
Yeah, that's really huge. So when you're saying some of these wealthy individuals, I would even submit to you that, there sometimes does not need to be a dollar figure associated to the word wealth. Sometimes it's just the wealthy mindset. Sometimes it's like, what, I want to do and think like the wealthy people are, because success leaves clues. So you might not feel you're wealthy right now to do some of these things, but get started and let it grow.
That's right, Mike. That's what it's all about. It's about getting started, and that is the advantage that the 401k plan has. And with your private plan, the advantage is that you control that, and you get started with it, and you can contribute as much as you want. There's no limit to how much you can contribute. I have clients that can contribute $20,000, a year, $30,000 a year. and whereas you can't do that with a 401k plan. And so they turbocharge their life insurance plans, whereas they're getting interest of 6%, 8% off their principal, and it's safe. And that's what a lot of my wealthy clients are doing. And then the young professionals are like, they're reviewing what other wealthy people are doing, and they're just mirroring what that concept is.
Yeah. Well, like I said, success leaves clues. And when the successful people are doing these big things, and here's something that I think I've read out in the industry about these life insurance contracts, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not some new thing, some new idea that Daryl Horton's coming up with. This has been around for hundreds of years, and large corporations and large banks have used life insurance for investment purposes. Is that accurate?
That is accurate, and actually some of the 401k plans are actually doing the same thing. They're investing in life insurance plans. They're doing the same. Because, Mike, you look at it, like the 2008 meltdown, most of your banks, your largest banks, they went under. They needed a bailout from the government, but not the insurance companies.
Wow.
The life insurance companies didn't need any bailout. It was only one company, AIG, that needed a bailout, and they were so diversified in equities and in other things. They were the only one of the in the industry. But all the others, New York Life, North American, all these huge companies, MetLife, they all did well. They paid dividends out. And there's a reason why these insurance companies been around for 200 plus years, making money, because they know what they're doing and they know how to protect your assets. And this is what it's all about.
So they're taking your money in the 401k, and they're taking their money from that fund and putting it in these kind of contracts, but then they're telling you ought to just put it in the 401k. That's just really amazing.
Exactly. It is amazing. It's crazy. When you
just
can do all this
yourself. Not what I do.
Exactly,
wow.
Mike.
Well, I think that right there, if we had a microphone, we could just drop it right there and go, okay, done. So what's a final thought that you would have, Daryl, and what's the best way someone could reach out and connect with you and learn more about this powerful concept?
Well, have your own private retirement plan. That's the best thing I can say.
Yeah.
And we can design it per you and what your goals are. And that's the best thing I can really suggest for you, because you got to start now and not later. Now is the time. And I can be reached at dlhortonadvisors.com. My direct number is area code 310-490-3011. And that's the best thing.
Awesome. Daryl, it's a real pleasure having you on today. This is a fun topic, and I can tell you know your stuff. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mike. Have a wonderful day.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.